Coach, have you determined the starting quarterback yet for Saturday?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield is our starter.
How do you feel like you guys took advantage of the off week? Do you like the results you got from this last week's practice?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It's always a little tough getting them up to practice during a bye week, but I thought some of the seniors stepped up and had good leadership out there and got some things accomplished.
Cliff, you mentioned after the last game that the offense was going to have to catch up to the defense. What specifically did you work on this off week that you feel good that they're making progress?
Yeah, just continue to get more and more reps in our system. We've obviously had too many turnovers, and trying to get some more yards per carry anytime we do run the ball would help. But just mainly doing what we do and try to clean up some of the mistakes.
Cliff, what can you remember about working with Charlie Weiss, and how much of an impact, if any, did he have on your career?
Yeah, you know, the first thing that jumps out is just his work ethic. I mean, he'd spend the night up at the office and was up there at all hours, and obviously a great quarterback mentor with having worked with Tom Brady, and always had great game plans. I thought he was one of the best game planners I'd ever been around, week-to-week basis. So learned a lot of X's and O's, and it was a really positive experience up there.
With the 11 a.m. kick, the third in a row against Kansas, and playing they had two tough games against them past Tuesday. Are there any extra challenges as a coach getting your team ready to go so early in the morning?
I don't think so. I like it. I mean, you get there, you don't have to sit around the hotel, and you get going. So I'm excited about it. I hope our team feels the same way.
Could you talk a little bit about maybe what you learned about your team this past week in a bye week situation?
Like I said, I was just glad to see some of the senior leaders step up and say, hey, we need to get some good work done, because it's not easy to get those guys rolling on a bye week when there's not a game coming that weekend. So I thought some of the older guys did a good job saying, hey, we got to get better this week, and we used it to our advantage.
Kansas played its best defense in the red zone against Louisiana Tech. How do you prepare for the red zone defense they plan to bring?
They've been opportunistic, got some takeaways down there, and obviously we haven't been as good in the red zone as I'd like. We've kicked a bunch of field goals, so it'll be a challenge. They've improved a lot on defense and bring a lot of different looks this year, so we got to be ready for anything down there.
What is your biggest concern?
Everything really. I mean, with this team, especially offensively, with young guys playing, you got to be ready for everything. And I think they're a lot more multiple this year on defense than they were last year, and have been holding people to a lot less points. So they're a much improved team than they were a year ago.
Coach, you think you guys improved mentally in the run game for this upcoming game?
Mentally,
For the run game, yes, sir.
yeah, we need to have some success to improve mentally. So we'll see. But I think getting Bo back should help somewhat. He's a guy who's played a lot here, and we're expecting him to be a big factor for our offense.
How's Michael doing?
He's good. He's good. I mean, he's not officially cleared yet, but we're going to start working him back into some drills and see how it goes.
Does that mean when you say you're going to start working back some drills, do you think you'll be able to do something on the field this week?
Yes, sir.
Cliff, there have been, I guess for a couple of weeks now, your fans have been talking about the potential for your team to start 7-0 before you go to Oklahoma, because you play teams that aren't perceived to be contenders. How much urgency is there to take advantage of this portion of the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, we attack each and every week. We're not good enough to look ahead like that. I think you saw with Oklahoma State what can happen in this conference each and every week. So we're just trying to get better each week. Offensively, we haven't played very well in the last couple of weeks, and we know that. And so that's kind of my main issue as the offense coordinator. And defensively, he's got to keep improving and keep doing what they're doing.
Did you happen to catch the Oklahoma State West Virginia game this weekend?
Parts of it. Yeah, parts of it. I mean, that's how this conference goes. It's been like that the last couple of years, so it doesn't surprise me.
Coach, can you talk about the decision to go with Baker Mayfield, please?
Yeah, we're 4-0 with him as a starter, and that's really where we're at. So we'll let him cut it loose and see. And I think he's healthy for the first time in about 3 weeks, completely healthy, and has looked really sharp at practice. So I'm excited to see him play.
Coach, real quick, going back to Texas State, big hits like Jason Marl's crackback. How does that affect your team?
Yeah, it's a little dicey these days because of the ejection rule. You know, you kind of hold your breath anytime you see one of those. But anytime we're playing that physical, you know, it always excites our entire team.
Is it kind of
Yeah, I mean Baker earned the starting spot with what he did in camp, and then played really well the first 2 weeks, and played a really good TCU defense. And then the last week he wasn't very healthy, and I think it showed. So I'm excited to see him healthy again, and we'll see what he can do.
You have this on status of some guys like, I guess, J.J. Gaines, Austin Stewart, Alfredo.
Yeah, they're basically day to day. We'll see how that comes along during the week, but we're going to try to get him out there and get him some reps and see. But I wouldn't say any of those guys are certain yet.
Any comment you want to make about how you went up 4 spots in the poll and you
Yeah, we need more bye weeks. We'd be top 10 in about 3 weeks without playing. So I don't know how that works, but hey, it's part of the deal, I guess.
What do you remember about playing against the Jayhawks?
I mean, we always had good games, and traditionally it's been a good game versus Texas Tech. I think you look at last year, going to overtime. So very spirited team. It's always tough there to play. You look at their track record at home, so it'll be a very, very good challenge for our team.
Saying that you were part of the only Tech team that lost to them, is that something you can use for these guys? Hey, they may be a team perceived to be the worst in the conference, but I know what can happen if you think like that.
Appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, all you have to do is watch what happened last weekend. So our guys know. Our guys have a chip on their shoulder. They picked us 8th and 9th all year, so we're not worried about any game past this. I mean, we know there's a huge challenge for us, and we're going to go in there and play our best.
Offensively, will you continue to make it a point to get Eric Ward the ball in the first quarter?
We're going to get him the ball any way we can. We're not going to force it to him, but he's a good player, and we got to have things that target Eric, and I think we did a better job of that last week. But we got a bunch of great playmakers. You look at Marquez, what he's doing. You look at Jakeem, what he's doing. Look at Jace. So it's a good problem to have, but we're trying to get all those guys the ball.
With a 11 a.m. kick like that in that kind of atmosphere, do you have to maybe create some energy with your team to kind of get them going? Is that something you'll try to do as head coach?
I mean, anytime you go on the road, you got to create your own energy, and that's part of playing on the road. But no, if you're not excited playing a Big 12 game, and you're in the wrong business, I guess. I don't know why you would have to bring any more extra motivation.
Back up talking about Eric for a moment, a number of times he's targeted. On Baker, does he have routes that he likes to throw? Do you think that he's better throwing? Is that a possibility for why Eric doesn't get the ball as much at times?
That's something we're still figuring out. I don't know if Baker knows that yet. He hasn't been in our offense very long, so we're kind of all growing as a unit, and we'll go. He's targeted those other guys more at times, but you look at the first game, he threw it to him 13 or whatever times, so I don't think that has too much to do with it.
Quentin White is your leading rusher. Any chance he sees playing time this week?
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, he's going to do what he's been doing, but those other guys are really good.
Coach, real quick, talk about your defense, the expectations you have for them going into Kansas.
Hopefully they continue to get better. Been very proud of their efforts so far. Coach Wallerstedt's done a good job with game planning, and I know if Charlie has an extra week, he's going to have something special for him. So Kansas will be ready to go, and it'll be a great challenge for him.
What did you think of the losing last week against EA Sports and players being able to be part of a settlement?
Yeah, all I saw was that they're canceling the game for 14, I think, so our players were in mourning. But I haven't followed it close enough to even comment intelligently on it. I just saw that they're not going to have it in 2014.
Do you have any thought on what you think? Do you think players are entitled to more than a scholarship, or would you like to see players get something in addition to the scholarship?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm pro player on this, but I'd like to help them out as much as we can without making it a professional type level, if that makes sense. I mean, if you added more meals or paid for other things that are more living expenses, but as far as just giving them straight cash, I think you could end up being in the same problems we are right now.